Hi, Starton EDU instructions. Welcome back. Just like what we said last time, we just opened the Markdown documents. And today we are going to introduce something about robotic course, the general concept. I am Bill, the leading teacher of the robotic teaching. Okay, first, let me just have a brief introduction of our course. Robotic is the flag course at Starton EDU. We designed totally 6 different levels for students from 6 years old to 13 years old. And there will be totally 6 different levels, so which means there will be a really long time to teach. Each level, it will last for about 1 semester, and we always regard 1 semester as 3 months. Sometimes it will be a little bit longer, but generally speaking, it will be 3 months. The class will denote it as level ABCX. Okay, let's just look at the example here. The level 1, 1, 2, 3. The first letter always means what kind of like the level it is. So right now, if you see the level 1, 1, 2, the first number is 1, which means it is the first level. And the second number denoted as the age category. And for regular case, because most of the students, they are going to be 9 years and over, up to 13 years old actually. If we have even older students later, we are going to separate them into a different group. So the second number, if it is denoted as 1, means it is a regular group. And if the number is 2, it will denote it as the younger group. The younger group is always from age 6 to 8. And the third number, 2 here, it means which month of the level. Because just as we said that before, that our level will last for 1 semester, 3 months. So this 2 means the second month. And inside of each month, we are going to regard them as 4 different weeks. So 3 means the third payment week. And some of the months, they will have 5 weeks, but we never have the 5 weeks for that. We only have 4 because our payment is only for 4 different classes. So this number is pretty easy for us to check in the payment of the student. So just to let you to know. And later, when the teacher is going to ask to teach a specific class, first you are going to check your schedule, and you can see that what exactly the level you are going to teach. So if you see that, oh, today I'm going to teach level 1, 1, 2, 3, so I just need to go to the documents to check what exactly the level I'm going to teach, the level, and then I just need to click that. So this is exactly what we can do. And also later we are going to have the YouTube video training system so that you can also click exactly the link of that so that you are going to watch the video specifically. Okay, let's just take a look at the course layout. We are going to have totally 6 different levels. And most of the time that we are going to separate them into 3 different groups. Level 1 and level 2, we are going to use the same kind of like the technology or platform. Level 3 and level 4, we are going to use the same one. And level 5 and level 6, we are going to teach in another. So most of the teacher, we are going to teach level 1 and level 2. They are going to focus on the Scratch or Scratch-like coding and the corresponding platform. Right now, we are using Cody Rocky, and also we can use MBOT or MBOT Ranger. And they are very easy to use, and most of the teacher that need to teach level 1 and level 2, just the prerequisite is science class. So which means if you know the basic science logic and also some basic math, it will be pretty easy for you to learn that. Level 3 and level 4 will focus on text-based language, and this language is called programming language. Basic data structure, algorithm, and the corresponding platform. Right now we are going to use Arduino, Microbit, Raspberry Pi, and sometimes that we are going to use other kind of like the chips. For this level, we suppose that the teacher that's going to teach this had the prerequisite of some kind of like coding background. But if you really don't know, but you are really self-confident about every like the coding problems, we are also welcome you to try it out. Level 5 and level 6 will focus on Python, MATLAB, and Julia only. And these three languages are very, very popular in nowadays in AI area. So that's why for this part, we specifically training the classes for computer science major students. And if you think you are okay to handle that, we are going to evaluate the instructors first, so that make sure that our quality of the classes will not decrease. And there is one more thing that we are going to talking about. If you are going to teach the young group never have level 5 and level 6 classes, which means that they are not going to dealing with Python, MATLAB based AI. They are going to do some AI sections in their own level, but actually they are not going to do the real AI, something like the machine learning, deep learning, and some of the applications. Young group should learn level 1 young to level 4 young, almost for about 2 years first. And then we are going to evaluate them. And when their age is okay to go to the regular group, we are going to promote them to level 3 as a regular group. So this is exactly the course layout. And then we are going to talking about the class installation. For the class installation, actually what we are going to talking about is when we first start a class, commonly right now they are going to start at level 1, but if there are some students that they are going to start from some other level, we are also going to give them the same installation kind of equipments. We are going to provide them the binders, syllabus, and also the teacher's information. And also later we are going to have the teaching and the learn system, so that all the teacher is going to share your own template of the syllabus and the materials on it, so that every teacher can share the kind of like the common things to each new level, so that the student can use the same material. And right now, the Starton EDU is going to provide all the documents. And for the teacher, what we require you to do is that you are going to provide your own syllabus, so that it will have your own email and also the lecture meeting time on it. It is a kind of like a very good like a reminder for both student and also instructor yourself. And later that every code that's written by the student in the class should be printed out. And we are going to provide the printer for every class, so that later you can also see the class handout policies. Okay, let's jump into next part, the lesson plan. Okay, the lesson plan is like that. Our robot lesson will last for about 100 minutes, and it will contain totally 2 to 3 parts. Most of the time, it will be theory part and the lab time. So 2 parts, it will be 50 minutes and 50 minutes. But sometimes that we are going to divide our classes into 3 different parts. There will be the theoretic part, 40 minutes, 30 minutes for the programming parts, and 30 minutes that we are going to apply our program into a robot. It can be adjusted a little bit by the style of the instructions, but there is something that we are going to be forbidden. Without teaching any lecture, but give the lab only is forbidden. Okay, so make sure that every class we are going to teach them the knowledge first, because if the student just do the labs, actually they can really learn little things. So that is exactly what we are going to provide for the students. So make sure that we are going to give them the lecture first. Okay, the first part is lecture. And in this section, instructors are required to introduce the topic to the class. And just like what we said, there will be the topic that we provide for the instructor. But we only provide the knowledge that they are going to learn, but the background, the instructors should use your own background knowledge. Some teacher they might have the background of the science, so maybe it is pretty easy for you to teach in the science based. Some teacher maybe you are arts based, So if you are teaching something about the radar, like the army, so that maybe you can teach them in your own background style. So we do not limit the teacher to do something like that because we want to give the most flexibility that to the teacher so that the teacher can kind of like create your own teaching style. And just like that, what we remind before, that later our teaching and learning system will be updated and all the instructors can check it and also upload every ideas that you have. And if you provide the best idea to the activity, we can also provide you the best kind of like the payment, maybe extra payment. And also we are going to write down your name to our new publication of the textbook of the Starton EDU. Okay, so the next part. The second part is called programming lab section. And for this section, that most of the class will have this part until that this is only the robotic class. And because we are going to have a pretty small class, we only have no more than 8 students, so debugging is very, very important for each teacher. And how to do the debugging, it also depends on the teacher's experience and also the material of our handouts. So the teacher are required to we are going to provide the material to the teacher, and the teacher is going to go through that thoroughly, so that make sure that the student will give you some question, but you cannot understand or you cannot answer. That is pretty bad feedback. So we are going to let the teacher to get the information kind of several days prior to the class so that you can have enough time to go through that. Okay, this is a class handout kind of policy that correct code should be printed out for each student and let them to take it back home with their binder. Okay, so there is no big problem. And some of the handouts, they can return as the language as Python layout, something like that, or C language, C# language, Java language, depends on our classes. But for level 1 and level 2, most of our class should be picture based. So which means that you are going to have the screenshot to some language like the Scratch and Block so that you can take a screenshot and print them out and let the student to take it back home. And some of the Scratch, actually, they have the web account so that the student is going to register for their account at the very beginning of the first class so that they can save that at home. But we also encourage the instructor to print things out because at least they can review them even though that they don't have the computer in their hand. Okay, the third part is called the robotic lab section. And this part will appear when we try to apply the previous programming skills and the topic concept to the real robots. And for these parts, most of the time that the teacher is also going to help them to do the debugging. But it is not truly required because most of the time the student they really want to figure out by themselves, so we really encourage the teacher to let the student to try several times so that almost at the end of the class, if they really cannot figure it out, we are going to provide them the correct answer. But most of the time that we do not allow to give them the answer at the very early stage so that they do not really have enough time to explore. And there is one more thing that's pretty important. For level 1 and level 2, actually the student cannot really bring their robot back home. So which means they are going to finish their project in the class. So what they can only bring back home is the printout. And for level 3 and level 4, because they are going to use their own kind of Arduino Raspberry Pi, and most of the students they are going to bring back home at home the chips, and some of them they will also have their development board at home. So which means it is possible that they didn't really finish. They can finish maybe 80%, 90%, or 70% of the projects, and you give them some hints and let them to bring them back home, and for the next class you are going to check their homework and to make sure that they finish the projects. Okay, so this is everything about the layout and also the class installation and also the lesson plan for our Starton EDU robotic course. And if you have more questions, please leave a comment down or just email me. Okay, thank you so much.